Yes, good evening again. Good evening. Yes, thank you, Karibu, for the marriage classroom. It's always a pleasure to have all of us together to learn. And also we want to welcome our viewers and also the what you can call the classroom without the walls. So out there, I know we are learning together. And I hope you do the assignment. I also hope that you are learning, because that is the most important thing. We keep learning and we never stop learning. For our desire and our goal is to make our marriages enjoyable, not what? Not, yes, not, we are not enduring, we are enjoying, because I believe that was the real purpose of God. And even in those times that we need to persevere or endure, it is because it is for the good of the marriage. So there are those times that it's hard, even as we say in our vows, for better, for worse. But even in that time for worse, if we are together in it, then we know two are better than one. Because when one is down, the other one lifts the other person up, isn't it? And then they have a good reward for their labor. Okay. Yes, so we have been continuing on with the alphabet of marriage, or the alphabet that represents some active verbs that we can use to spice up our marriage or to make our marriage more enjoyable. And so we have gone from A all the way up to letter N. Yes, the last one was N. And which was? To N was, we said it is to do what? To nurture or nourish. And I believe that we are nurturing and nourishing one another. I know we think of nurturing or nourishing children, but after they have gone, in fact, we start before they come, and then they go. We continue now nourishing one another. Isn't it, Alan? Yes, I know right now the small one is the one who's taking all the attention. But after that, she should get all the attentions, because now she was before that small one came. Yes, yeah, it's now a third party. And you know one thing? Comes and makes everything stop. And it's like you no longer regard one another. It is, mommy, baby, and it's all the attention. Has the baby eaten? Has the baby slept? You don't even ask, how was your day? And I believe that that's what we desire that you have. So we go to the letter O. Yes, and I have students who are next to me, so I don't know whether they or maybe here. So I don't know whether I'll ask these ones, but because they have been looking at my papers so keenly, but I want to give you a chance to tell me which are those active verbs that you can get from letter O. Verbs means that something that you can do. That's why we call them active verbs. O. To obey, correct? That's okay. We know that that's to obey, that is active verb. Omniscient, that is a name. That's a noun. Organize. Yes, organize, correct. That's a good one. Organize. No, that one is a noun. And yes, a complete noun. Yes, to own something. Offer or over?
Offer.
The F.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. When you say over, so I was wondering whether it is, yeah, to offer something, to give, okay? Yeah, we are getting there. Overcome. Operate. Obscure. Ordain. Now I can see you are domed. Okay, today we learn. Yes, verbs. Because what we said is there could be so many words that could be representing O, but what we are looking for is action verbs. So that if I tell you, like if it is A, appreciate your friend or your wife. If it is E, embrace, it's like something I can tell you, go and do. Okay? You know that? Because we said when you are given the marriage certificate, you are given the power to do all that pertains to that certificate. So we are giving you some more powers. It's like we are trying to explain to you what to do. So when we talk about N, that's why we said about nourishing. There could be so many other words that could represent N or could start with N, but we wanted action, positive verbs. Yes. Overcome. Yes. Now, but today I want to teach you a new one. Although it's not in use, but it was there. Just like the King James English, it was there. So for O, we are going to use the word optate. How many have you ever heard the word optate? Optate. O-P-T-A-T-E. Yes. Optate. Optate is a derivative of the word opt. It's like operate. So optate. So when you're talking about to opt, then we can talk about the verb, or to do it, you are told to optate. So although you may find, like they say, some of those words that have become obsolete, that means they are no longer in frequent use because of being overtaken by other preferable ones. But it means to wish for. You're wishing for something, to desire, or to choose. You know, when you are told opt, you can opt out means you can decide to go out or stay, isn't it? So you are being told to optate means you are going to wish for something and not another. You are going to desire something and not the other. And why you desire it, or why you choose it, it is because it is preferable than the other. So when we're talking about to optate or optating our spouses, means we have to make sure that we choose them, we desire them, and we also wish for them. So we are going to make a deliberate choice. In fact, it says it is when you make a choice especially or decide to do something in preference of anything else. Yes, so in that case, we are talking about, when we opt or we optate means we are going to wish for something, or we are going to wish or choose something or desire because it is what we like or what we wish for. And I believe each one of us optated or chose. Maybe I would want to ask, because some of these things we say, you opt or you chose. And maybe I would want to ask, why did you opt for the person you're with? And stop laughing. You see, I believe when there was that opt, you made a choice. There could be so many, and maybe that's why you'll find the songs of songs. He would say, like a dove among birds, many other birds, but my beloved is a dove, or an apple tree among the trees of the forest. So why do you think you opted for whoever opted? Or, yeah, each one of us can give us what exactly struck you out. Yes,
for me, it was his way of doing ministry, serving God. Yeah, and he was so humbled. He's not a man of so many words, few but on point. Yes.
So that really made you wish for him?
Yes.
Wow, okay. Now he's here.
As for me, it was his character. He's hardworking. And being someone that I'm also hardworking, kuna vile mnaweza kosa kuendanisha na mtu ambaye ni mvivu. So you'll want someone that ukikam na idea, pia yeye ana bring something better. So it's someone I opted for him because I saw a higher version of myself. So ni mtu anaweza ni bring to better, make me better because ako at a higher pace.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Nako hapa amesikia. Samuel, okay, is it now what did you opt? Yeah, unapewa hiyo ati. That was good. Haya. So, what did you wish for, or what did you see and opt for her?
I think there's so many things, but the reason why I opted for her, or I preferred her than the rest, because there were so many that time, you know. And one of the things is her personality. There was a kind of a personality that I was praying God for. And this is one of the things that attracted me so much to her. Number one, she was so God-fearing. And what I was looking in a woman, in a godly woman, actually it's what I saw in her. The first thing, I didn't know even her career. The first time I met her. But I was really attracted by her move of her love towards God. And I saw, this is what I need. A person who can draw me closer to my God. And who can help me to walk through this life and pursue my career. Yes.
Wow, thank you. Okay, now the rest you may not get that because they are not around. But let's see. Yes, why did you opt for him? I hope he's watching. And once you go home, I think you clarify that's true.
There are many things, but one thing is that he believed in me. And another thing I saw in him is he was a humble man, very polite. And for me, I had witnessed marriages that were very aggressive. People would fight. But one thing I was sure about him is that he will never lay his hands on me. So I am afraid of war. So I chose him and I opted him because I knew he would never, and he had never laid his hands on me. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Hope men you are hearing. Good. The issue is this. Sometimes I know there's those people who look for men that are built and like you think they can protect. Because they have the 6 cubes in one pack. It's supposed to be 6 pack or what? Not in 1 cube, And you think they are the ones who are going to protect. Sometimes they use even their strength. And I'm not saying all those that are strong are abusive. But I believe that also it's good to hear sometimes what the ladies look for. I hear a humble man. And another one, humble one polite, you know, because somehow I think there is also that fear sometimes, but I believe we are not going to live in fear, okay? Yes, Alan.
Well, for me, I know she will be watching.
Yeah, watch. I will ask you whether it is true or, I mean, I know it is going to be true, yeah.
Okay, well, I opted for June because... Number one thing, because of her calmness. She's a calm lady. And being my colleague, I was able to know her more. Because of the same line of profession, I could be able to discover her more. Because of her calmness, and she was also very optimistic. The moment when we share or we talk, even before I did the proposal, I could see a lady with... character of being optimistic. So she was so optimistic, and in everything that she used to say, you know, even lay on the table, she was a determined girl. Yeah, she's a girl, right?
Yeah. Only she remain your girl.
Yes.
If you want her to. Yes.
Yeah, so I think those are the major character traits that I saw in her. The being optimistic and also being calm, very determined. Okay. So I saw somebody that will actually augment with me well.
Thank you.
Yes,
Wow.
And I'm still discovering more about her even today.
Yes.
I'm seeing the results of the same words that the same character that I saw in her being fulfilled. Yes.
We thank God. That's what we opt, and that is lovely. So, Samuel, unaweza shikilia hiyo, and that is very good. Yes. Now, somebody says that there is a difference between love and desire. desire. You know, we are talking about optate or to desire, to choose, okay? Because you may say you are in love, but sometimes, or they say love is to have, to desire is to want, okay? Now, we have so many things that we love, isn't it? But sometimes we have never wanted them to be ours, okay? So I believe that when we are talking about optating or to optate means you love this person, but you desire that they be yours. They be, you know, like you would want them to be what you have ever desired them to be. Okay? Are we together? And it is true that we find some couples who even love one another. They are very, what you call, best of friends. But somehow they don't have that chemistry. I mean, they can be very good friends, but when it comes to the issue, I'm using the word desire, because that now what keeps the marriage going. Sometimes that is only present when people are courting one another. Once they settle down and children come and all that, people feel like life settles. Mnakuwa kama watu wanaenda safari moja, but it's like mnaulizana uko na fare, tunaenda saa ngapi, tutafika saa ngapi, you know, and life becomes like you got just a companion. It is good to have a companion, but I think also it is important that you have a lover as your husband or as your wife. Hapa mnanishika hapo.
Tumekushika.
It's not only being friends, but also being lovers. Because sometimes we have people who even spend a lot of time, even with other people, they will laugh, they argue, they will share a meal and go even to holidays together. But they just are good buddies. I mean, you have become like friends. Unajua vile unaweza kuwa na mabuddies wako. So she just becomes like one of them. You know, it's just like you get used to having a good friend. Na mkosani. You can even play games, you can even go swimming, you can go driving, but there is not like that. There is not that, you know, what you call the chemistry. Ile ilifanya miguu ikose nguvu. Okay? Na wewe tumbo butterflies kwa tumbo.
Sauti inapotea.
Mpaka unasikia kunyongo.
Na
goosebumps. So I don't know whether we still have those goosebumps when you see one another. When people come from work, do you still feel the same? Or where did it go?
I still feel it.
You still feel it?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So a marriage relationship where desire has faded takes on the shape of what we call housemates. And then we talk about unasema mtu wa kwangu, mama wa kwangu, mama wa watoto, mwenye nyumba, another term. Yule.
Hata nani?
Nani?
Sauti.
Unamsahau hata jina ni nani? Uliza huyu. They have no title. I mean, what happened is that you become like colleagues. Yeah. You can become like housemates. And so sometimes you find now it doesn't seem to have, like, haina radha. Ni chakula, ni mzuri, lakini ni kama ile tunapikanga mashakula. No having, haina radha, haina ruiko. I mean, you have a life, it's good. You are friends, you're not quarreling, you have been there 2 years, 20 years, 50 years even. But somehow it's like you just got a companion. Or just a, you know, even a bedmate. Okay? Yes, can be a roommate. Like in college you shared rooms, isn't it? Yes. So we could even be a roommate. But there is no like that what you call chemistry or that desire. Yes. So desire feeds what we call physical intimacy. And when that physical intimacy is, you know, is fed by the desire, then we say it turns to bring connection. And, you know, that connection, which means you find like, you've seen how the doves look like anytime. They are flying together, they are staying together, and then you find like moja inapata a worm, it's want to share. Have you seen birds when they are like they are not just companions, they are friends, but they are also so connected to the fact I get a worm. And I'm not for the I'm not taking to the chicks. You want to share it with them. Yes. And I believe that's what God would desire that we have. Now, I want us to look at some things that make desire, that the choosing, the opting. We did it when we were in love, when we were courting, before we got married, or even when we got married. But sometimes after life continues, when you are told now you're married, behave like a married woman. Okay? Now, some people keep adding, kumbuka umeolewa. I mean, it's like, what's all? No one is quoting you, okay? So, what happens when people settle down, then you find like there's no longer the opt-in. So, what makes desire to go away? Yes, that word is very important. We call it familiarity. Familiarity to this person who you have seen almost every other day. Until you almost like, there's nothing new, okay? Hata unaweza angalia una almost be able to see the person even without looking so hard. So what we are saying is you have the familiarity. This person is so familiar, it's like you have seen them every other day. You almost, or even you get familiar to something, food. Unapikiwa, you don't even see anything different from what you ate yesterday. Okay? Again, also you get used to seeing one another, our bodies, because part of what also brings desire is our sharing physical intimacy. But it becomes kawaida. Okay? So what happens is no longer it's something must be done once a week like medicine, but without any haina radha. Sinasema ni kama ile mashakura. Mashakura. So the familiarity. I hope you're getting me. Yes. So that familiarity sometimes causes contempt. Okay? And so you find it's like becomes a duty. A woman feels like a duty, it's an obligation. And maybe the man is my right, but it's never a time of sharing joy or desire. Okay? And that one is not good. Another one?
Capitalizing on our spouse's weakness.
Yes. When we are looking at the weakness of the other one, or we keep now almost criticizing every other time we do something, there's nothing that brings, causes people just to feel not attracted to one another, when I always know I'll never be perfect in your sight. You always have something. Angalia sasa, una vile umevaa gui, sasa ona vile inateremka. But instead of telling me what to do, it's like you look at me and I look just a bunch of mistakes. Okay? And that's very good. It's true.
Over expecting things. Yani uko na exaggerated expectations from the other person.
Yes, unrealistic expectations of the other person, or even demands. Maybe you ask for so many things. Now we end up becoming nagging. In fact, one of the things that makes men just don't like. I think the Bible says so much about. I think about 5 scriptures in Proverbs about nagging.
Yes.
But I don't know why women still keep nagging.
Yeah, like that.
No.
No.
Not always.
No.
It is a bad habit. Yes. And the problem is that men think you treat them like kids. They had yesterday. Why repeat again? Na usipoteze hiyo karamu, umesikia? Unaifikiria hapa. Alafu baadaye kabla karamu iko, akikuja unaangalia. And then the same regulations the next day. You give it to your kids, but don't give it to your husband. Am I speaking for you?
Be that I have had a speaker saying that women have about 5,000 or 500 words, 12,000 a day.
Yes.
Is it because of that? That's why we nag.
No, you can talk so many words, but you don't have to nag. You know, nagging what looks like, as the Bible explains, like a constant dripping on a person. Unanyeshewa na ni kama utoki. You know, the issue is this. You've told me you want us to buy, maybe you want to buy maybe a kettle or let's say something. Then a dog, yes. And then tomorrow it's like, and I will say it in another way. Na kwa fulani, unajua nimeona kadogi kingine kanaka ukenunua kama hiyo, okay? I had. Then tomorrow it's like, you think I never had. Then you repeat it again in another way. They still know you are coming to the same point. And sometimes nagging can make one not do what they intended to do. Yes, it's like, let me see what you do. So sometimes when you say it once, maybe a reminder again, after that, leave it. If you don't go on your knees, forget about it. It's not that they never had. And they hear, in case they give you, they have an idea to do. Like waseme, hapa lazima tutengeneze. Tomorrow utakuta mtu fundi amekuja. Hamkukubali. Unasema, lakini hatukusema, how comes he had that one? Because he can do something when he chooses. But if you nag, he won't do. And there's nothing that brings down desire than nagging. Maybe I'm speaking what is not
Yes, we are here, and actually we are happy for you mentioning that. But for me, I'm not kind of a victim in that sense. Let me say. No, not really. Speaking on that side, my colleague here said that women have got over 5,000 words or 2,500 per day to speak. Actually, I saw that with my wife. There was a time, sometimes I come from a job, and then when I just meet her, she starts narrating things. From morning, the whole day, how it was, everything. But at least what I noticed from her, and then I asked her one day, you can't be tired. Yesterday you were talking to me a lot of things. Today you're talking to me new things. But the best thing, she was talking to me godly matters and godly things, positive things that also and has to help us and also to, to make us move forward with our marriage or maybe to sort one or three things. And one of the things that I encouraged her, I said, thank you. This is the difference between you and the other ladies. You're not talking to me about gossips. You're talking to me positive things that are making sense, even helping me, enabling me to give her an hearing ear. And so that is one of the things I like to congratulate her. Thank you. Keep it up.
So you encourage her to keep talking this?
Yes. Yes.
Because if you don't hear it, then you look for somebody to listen.
Yes. So I always give her a listening ear.
True.
And another thing, one of the things that may make the desire to fade in our marriages, I think it's a lack of carrying of our responsibilities or failure to carry our responsibilities. You see, when we get married in a new couple, you find out people are so, they are so hardworking, to please one another, to show the best out of each another. But you see, as time goes on, maybe when I come from job, he cooks the best cook, he gets off my coat, and, he prepares a tea, brings the tea on the table, all those good things. But, as the time goes, the same fades. I just came in, knocking the door. You can just come in. The
door is open.
The door is open. In the morning, I'm just asking, where is my water? I think it's in the bathroom. Or just go and heat on the heater there. Things just fade. Responsibilities. When you don't carry your responsibility, or when you slow whatever you have been doing, the desire will fade, and then it will bring about the choices we make. I'll come and prefer, instead of, me taking the breakfast and, I'm not giving with love. Let me go and take the breakfast outside there with my buddies or with my friends, you see. Instead of me coming in early in the evening and having supper with my family with happiness and joy, I'm just finding someone nagging, not giving me the food that I love with love, you see. I just decide and make a choice, and then let me go and take dinner or maybe spend time with my buddies outside there. That will continue fading and fading and fading the desire. Yeah.
So, but there is also something that you bring out, which is also good to be realistic about. At least at the beginning, sometimes people have their attention it's only two of you. So sometimes it's never too much to, like, she wakes up and prepares you breakfast and maybe puts your food on the table and has to do everything. But after time goes, then you realize there's another new member, maybe not one, not two. Yet it also demands her to wake up. Now, when she wakes up and the baby is crying, who will be given the first attention sometimes?
You see, when you say that, it's okay. But when you say that there is another person coming in, it's good to know why did you enter in this marriage.
True.
You should know that I am responsible. I should be responsible from the start and to the, from the beginning to the end. Because when you say that, we also have careers. I can decide to concentrate with my career or my job, and it can overtake me. So the only thing here to be careful is that, the things that are surrounding us, let us be careful that they should not overtake our love. You see, and the reason for our marriage to stand firm, let us always remember the inner circle, you see, and make the things that will steer up the desire to be active and to motivate it. Yes.
That's very good. In fact, one of the things that I say is where people do not negotiate the roles, roles and responsibilities. Because what will happen is this. In a marriage, in one of the things that they say causes the desire to ebb away, they list the first one as kids. Kids come, and sometimes it's either one person who giving the attention to the kids, and so what happens, then the other person feels like is neglected. So, or does not come in to help in the new now roles or responsibilities or there. And if there's a lot of work stress, you've gone, to work, maybe the wife is at home, but with the kids and the work, and sometimes she's so stressed out. And so once they come, sometimes now the nagging may start. You want food, you want attention. She finds there's another one crying, pulling her skirt. Nataka mchai, nataka, and this one now and then you also saying nachai kwani haikuji, and sometimes this woman who you want all to do all that may realize, but when people are able to negotiate then the roles and say, maybe I can help you on this, I can help as you quieten the baby and all that, instead of saying, so nyamazishe mtoto, ananyamazishwa hawezi vugwa mdomo. If it is food, lazima apewe chakula. What I'm saying is, or she starts breastfeeding. What we are saying is, if people are able to negotiate and be able to agree on what can work for them at that situation, then what will happen is no one feels assumed. Alan, you want to say something?
To add on the same, talking about nagging, I think maybe women could be, there are those who are nagging, yes, but there are those who are persistent. They need something. Yes.
Being persistent,
yes,
and
positive.
nagging. Okay,
Yes.
give me the difference.
Okay, nagging, you see, the word nagging also, it describes something that is maybe disgusting or unpalatable for one to take. But having someone who is persistent, especially when it's on a positive thing, it's important. Because as you said, if they are nagging, you'll end up not doing what they want. And when you do something, then they realize, oh, kumbe ulikuwa ufanye. Because probably because of the nagging character is what makes even the man to assume it and not to do it, and waits for the proper time. And a man wants to do something out of goodwill, but if you persist negatively, that is nagging, they will not be, they could decide not to do it. They can decide not to do it, or if they do it, they do it shingo upande, and you will not be happy on that also. Now let me just contribute now on another thing that could make a marriage, that desire and the love, to fade away. I think being over authoritative. As a man, for instance, we are being told we have the authority as men in the house. But if you overdo it, you go beyond, you over authoritate. You'll make even your partner, the wife, maybe to feel the love is fading away. I'm becoming like a slave in the house.
Yes, exactly.
So if she feels that she's becoming like a slave, then I think that's what will affect your marriage. But if you do it in an optimum way that is understood, and being accommodative also, like my brother has discussed here about those duties when the duty calls. But at the capacity she's able to do, they need to appreciate that, not that she should do everything you wanted. Especially if she's working or whatever, you may not expect her to do all these things. At times she could be coming late at home. You should be accommodative and understanding as well. So, and that's what will make our living together being positive.
We're saying doa iko na radha, okay? Yeah, we find ourselves, even as he's saying, he's giving the negative, but also he's giving the positive, or how to make our desires or obtain our spouse, or to be able to choose, continue feeling like every day we are choosing this person. You wake up in the morning and it's like, I have chosen you, and I've left all the others. I go home, I go back, and I keep saying, I may not keep saying that, but within me, I feel like I'm so lucky to have you, or so lucky to have me, okay? So what are also those things? We can list few that you think we can do to remind ourselves why we opted for the other person. Do we still find the same? You are laughing. Do you still feel like we wake up today and we say, I would want to opt for the same person?
Okay. As for me, I'll still opt for him. The reason is this. He has just said, I speak a lot, but I don't speak. One thing that I thank God for is that based on our spiritual callings, there is something that you find out of kile Mungu amekuitia. There's a character that you find. So I'm the kind of person who reads the Bible, and then in the evening I'll come and try and give that story, and then try and tell him, I have learned this, I got this revelation. So you see, I'll be speaking a lot, and then he's a very good listener. He'll just be like, actually sometimes I'm like, unanisikiza kweli? Because he's silent, and so na yeye anarudi pale nyuma, anaanza kuipicture pia yeye. So you see, the fact that he's giving me that platform, namwambia at this point, I don't have an audience. So you are my audience. So he's a good audience. So he will listen. And then he also, you see, he said that he loved the fact that I was God-fearing. So to this point, he always encouraged me on that, even when it comes to prayers. The other time, he said that one thing that he felt so, and alikuwa nasikia ikitajwa was hallelujah. Sometimes he will just sit and then tell me, "Hebu sema hallelujah." I may not remember how I did it the first time, but you see, he's encouraging you on the things that are godly and the things that are driving you towards your destiny, or towards what God wants you to be. The fact that he's giving me that platform makes me just want to be there. Otherwise, I'll find a man mwenye ananiambia, kwa hii nyumba, hiyo kesha sitaki kusikia. Ameniweka chini. So giving me that opportunity and that chance, atakama sometimes he may not be good in some of the things, but he's not jealous ati ninafanya kumliko. You see, I'm beyond. He's encouraging me, and that makes me opt for him every day.
That means I get what you're saying. If we encourage one another to do those things we liked about them, even now, when he tells her to say the hallelujah, maybe that's what made him, feel the humilities. I don't know what he felt, okay? And, yes? Yeah, the way he said it. I don't know what I would want you to say here now, but not for us, for him. But I think when we encourage one another to do those things, you see, let me say here, when he's not around, but I know you'll watch. There's the other day he told me there was a song I used to sing. I loved in calling Kijana kiwa ndani ya Yesu. So one morning he told me, I want you to sing. He said, no, I can't sing the same way. I want you to just the way you used to sing like that. You know, you uko bere unaiba kijana. And you know, he laughed and he's like, I think maybe it made him go back to remember that girl who would stand there and say, Kijana kiwa ndani ya Yesu jamani uburudika, and it's like I also felt good. Anyway, we remind yes.
Kijana, you were singing.
Yes. Maybe the kijana is kijana kiwa ndani ya Yesu. So we need also to create time for fun and romance. Because romance is what we are saying is what is missing out. You kuwa watu housemates, you know, roommates, you know, bedmates, you know, it's not right, it's not good, you know, brother, sister, karibu tuwe nani, nyumbani ni kama monastery, you know, you are together, but ni father and sister, okay? It's not so. It's supposed to be different. However, you are mama watoto and all that, I believe the best thing is we should have that desire continuing. 20 years, 30 years after, and many years, even 50, till death do us part. And I believe it so. So one of these days, we can be able to opt and sing and say like what these songs of Solomon 2, verse 2 and 3. This man seems to be able to pick out who is her lady. I mean, his lady. He says this, verse 2. Like a lily among thorns is my darling among young women. I want to challenge each one of us. Every man, would you be able to pick out what is so unique about your wife so that you can be able to say, this is what is so different. You can imagine that she's a lily among thorns. How again water, let them remain thorns. Yeah, let your lady remain a lily. Wow. Okay? And when she remains a lily, the desire continues. Then for the ladies, like a maple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. I hope he remains that way, opted out, always desired, chosen, but because he's a maple and the rest are all trees of the forest. Having no fruit, or if they ever have fruit, they have bitterness, but there's a maple among the trees of the forest. And there is a lily among the thorns. Yeah? Yeah, they sought out, they opted out, they chosen, the desire. Thank you. Thank you so much for us. Thank you, viewers. I hope you are opting. You continue to opt for whoever you choose. God bless us.